Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear students, I am Dr. Mona Semalti from HNB Garhwal University, Srinagar, Garhwal. So dear students, I welcome all of you in this module, and today we are going to discuss GMP part 1. Okay, so general requirements as per GMP for the cell manufacturing of food and beverages, cosmetics, as well as for pharmaceutical products. Okay, so let's see your learning outcome. So introduction to GMP you are going to learn, and good manufacturing practices for premises and material. Under this heading, general requirements, okay, warehouse area, production area, quality control, persons, and health, clothing, and sanitation of workers, manufacturing operations and control. So all these things we are going to see in this module. We are going to discuss in this module. Okay, now good manufacturing practices. Now let me introduce you to GMP. GMP, good manufacturing practices. Okay, the full form is good manufacturing practices. Are the practices which are required in order to conform to the guidelines which are recommended by certain authorized agencies that control the authorization and licensing of manufacturing and sale of food and beverages, cosmetics, pharmaceutical product, dietary supplements, and medical devices. So this is the definition of GMP, and what these guidelines provides us. These guidelines provides the minimum requirement that a manufacturer must meet to ensure that the consistently good quality or quality of its product from batch to batch and for their intended use. So general requirements under that location and surrounding. So the basic requirement is the manufacturing company should be located far away from the public area or from the crowded place. Okay, so as we generally say that any manufacturing company is should be situated in the outer part of a city. Okay, so this is the basic requirement. As to avoid the contamination, there should not be and contamination from the external environment, including the open sewage, drain, public lavatory, and any factory which produces the disagreeable, obnoxious odor, fumes, excessive soot, dust, smoke, okay, and chemical and biological emissions. Next is building and premises. Now, what are the requirements for building and premises? For manufacturing, processing, warehousing, packaging, labeling, and testing purpose. Okay, so it should be compatible with the drug operations, number one. Okay, adequately it should be provided with the working space to allow orderly and logical placement of equipment, material, movement of persons. Okay, now the next is the manufacturing area should be designed, constructed, maintained to prevent the entry of insect, pest, burst, vermicide, rodents. Okay, and the air condition should be provided in areas where the operation and the dosage form under production takes place. Okay, air control facilities, the three-door airlock system I am talking about with reference to our pharmaceutical dosage form. Okay, it also depends that what kind of air control facilities are required. If we go for the parenteral production, if we go for the capsule and a solid dosage form, semi-solid dosage form, so there the the requirements of the different products manufacturing is different. Okay. Proper drainage system should be provided for different categories of product, which shall be of adequate size and so designed as to prevent the back and flow and or to prevent the insects and rodent entering in the premises. The walls and floor area where the manufacturing of the drug is carried out shall be free from cracks, any kind of cracks. The surface should be smooth, should be easily cleanable, should be easily one can easily clean, disinfect it. Okay. So these are the requirements. Now moving to the water system. Water system, this is one of the very important and very crucial segment of a pharma manufacturing company, or there should be a complete validated system should be there for the treatment of water drawn from own or any other source which rendered it potable in accordance to the standards specified by the Bureau of Indian Standards for local municipality, as in case may be. Okay, so purified water is generally used, and purified water should be produced and shall be used for all the operation except washing and cleaning operations. Okay, so there is a proper manufacturing system of this potable, this purified water, which is to be used in manufacturing of the product. Disposal of waste. Okay, this is also very important thing to keep it in mind, that disposal of waste, there should be a proper system of disposal. The disposal of sewage and effluent, solid, liquid or gas from the manufacturing shall be conformity with the requirement of Environment Pollution Control Board. Okay, so the guidelines for the disposal of waste should be followed as per the recommendations of Environment Pollution Control Board. Okay, so all biomedical waste it shall be destroyed as per the provisions of Biomedical Waste Rules 1996, Management and Handling. Okay, additional precautions shall be taken for the storage as well as for the disposal of rejected drugs. Okay, records shall be maintained for the disposal of waste. Okay, now provision shall be made for the proper and safe storage of the waste material. Okay, wetting, disposal, hazardous toxic substances, flammable material, and so it should all follow the recommendation provided by its governing body. Warehouse area. So next is warehouse area. Now adequate area shall be designed to allow the sufficient and orderly warehousing of various categories of material, and depending on the type of material to be stored in that warehouse area, the facilities should be ensured. Uh, Warehousing area shall be designed to adapt to ensure the good storage condition, as I mentioned, and they shall be clean, dry, should be maintained within the acceptable temperature limits. Okay, uh, and as far as the special storage conditions are required, say for example for temperature and humidity. Okay, so the temperature and humidity should be monitored, recorded, and storage area shall have appropriate housekeeping. Okay, and uh, there should be proper facility for the stored the products or the products which are stored in warehouse. Proper racks, bins, platform shall be provided for the storage of material as per the requirement. The next is receiving and dispatch ways shall protect material and from the adverse weather condition. Okay, the where the quarantine status is ensured by warehousing in separate and marked area in the same warehouse or store, this area shall be clearly demarcated. Okay, so as to make it clear for the persons who are dealing with that particular warehouse that the products which are stored, the whatever kind of products which are stored in warehouse, uh, what uh, uh, what is the next to be what is the procedure which is to be adopted for them for the next coming days. Okay, so it is about warehousing. The important thing which I want to mention here, that highly hazardous, poisonous and explosive materials such as narcotics, psychotropic drugs and substances presenting potential risk of abuse, fire and explosion shall be stored in a safe and secure place. Okay, uh, and the printed packaging material shall be stored in safe, separate and okay and secure areas. And there should be separate dispensing area for the beta lactam, for the hormonal section and for psychotoxic substances, and sampling and dispensing of sterile material shall be conducted under the aseptic condition conforming to grade A, which can be performed in a uh, dedicated area within the manufacturing facility. The last 2 points, which is regular rec shall be made to ensure the adequate steps to be taken against the spillage, breakage and leakage. Okay, so it is about the detailed requirements of warehousing. Next is production area. Now production area shall be designed to allow the production preferably in uniflow with the logical sequence and operations. Okay, so in order to avoid the risk of cross contamination, separate, dedicated and self-contained facilities shall be made available for the production of sensitive pharmaceutical product like penicillin and biological preparation with live microorganisms. The next is under production, the working and in process space shall be adequate to permit orderly and logical positioning of equipment and material. Okay, and movement of persons to avoid the cross contamination and minimize risk of omission. Okay, so this we are discussing the general guidelines. Okay, for the manufacturing for the production area. So these are general guidelines, but when we will talk about the specific guidelines as for the production of parenteral dosage form, for the production of solid dosage form, so these guidelines may vary little uh, depending on the type of manufacturing product we are going to discuss. Okay, so pipe work, electrical fitting, ventilation opening and similar services line shall be designed, fixed and constructed to avoid the accumulation of dust. Next is ancillary area. Okay, now rest and refreshment room shall be separate from the other areas. Okay, so these are some ancillary area we are talking about. These areas shall not lead directly to the manufacturing and storage area. Facilities for changing, storing clothes and for washing and for the toilet purposes shall be easily accessible and adequate for the number of uses. Okay, toilets separate for male female shall not be directly connected to the production storage area. So there should be a kind of provision that these facilities, this ancillary area must be there, but quite should be located or situated uh, in such a way that they are not directly connected to the manufacturing and storage area of pharmaceutical product. The maintenance of workshop shall be separate and away from the production area. Whenever spares, changed parts and tools are stored in the production area. So this shall be kept in a dedicated room, especially okay, in lockers rooms. Okay, so area housing animal shall be isolated from the other area and should follow the requirements as per the guidelines. Next is quality control area. See, quality control area means quality control laboratories shall be independent of production area. Okay, and that means there should be a complete setup, a different setup for the quality control area. Separate area shall be provided each for physicochemical, biological and microbiological and for radio isotope analysis. Okay. A separate instrument room with adequate area shall be provided for sensitive and sophisticated instrument employed for analysis. A second is quality control laboratories shall be designed appropriately with the operations to be carried out in them. Okay, so adequate space for each equipment as per the guidelines should be provided. Okay, and sufficient and suitable storage space shall be provided for test sample, retained sample, and reference standard reagents and for records. The design of a laboratory shall take into account the suitability of construction material and ventilation. So separate air handling units and other requirements shall be provided for biological, microbiological and for radioisotope testing area. And quality control laboratory shall be divided into the separate section. Okay, there should be division of the separate section: chemical, microbiological, and wherever required, biological testing, because the requirements for each type of section is different, and it should be followed as per the recommended guidelines. Next is personnel. The general requirements, general requirements. As per GMP for the persons who are working in the manufacturing area. The manufacturer shall be conducted under the direct supervision of a competent technical staff. The manufacturing, okay, should be carried out under the direct supervision of competent staff with the prescribed qualifications and practical experience in the relevant dosage form, okay, or in for active pharmaceutical ingredient. Okay, the head of quality control laboratory should be independent of the manufacturing unit. That means the person who is supervising the manufacturing section should be independent to that of the other sections, including quality control laboratory. The testing shall be conducted under the direct supervision of competent technical staff. Persons for quality control and quality assurance operations shall be suitably qualified and experienced. Okay. Written duties of technical and quality control person shall be laid and should be followed strictly. That means there should be a complete task or a chart which states the assigned tasks and duties to the employees who are working. Okay, a number of persons employed should be adequate and in direct proportion to the workload. And the next is the licensee shall ensure in accordance with the written instructions that all the persons in the production area or in to quality control laboratory shall receive training appropriate to the duties and responsibility designed to them. Okay, next is health, clothing and uh, sanitation of workers. So this is also very important as to avoid any kind of contamination as well as cross contaminations. The persons handling especially the beta-lactam antibiotic shall be tested for the penicillin sensitivity. This is the first step. They should be tested for the penicillin sensitivity before their employment, and those handling the sex hormones, psychotropic substances and other potent drugs shall be periodically examined for any kind of adverse effect. This person should be moved out of this section except the dedicated facilities by rotation, okay, as a health safeguard. Okay, next is prior to the employment, that means prior to their appointment in that particular section, all the persons shall undergo in medical examination including their eye examination, and shall be free from the tuberculosis, skin and other communicable and contagious diseases. Okay, they should be medically examined periodically at least once in a year, and record should be maintained for their uh, routine examinations also. The licensee shall provide the services of qualified physician for assessing the health status of persons who are involved in the different parts of the manufacturing company. Okay, all the persons prior to the prior and during the employment shall be trained in practice which ensures the person's their personal hygiene. Okay, a high level of personal hygiene shall be observed by those engaged in the manufacturing processes. So they are given instructions for this, and the employee shall be instructed to report about their illness and about their abnormal health conditions and their immediate supervisor to their immediate supervisor, so that the appropriate action can be taken. Okay, no person showing at any time or the apparent illness or open lesions which may adversely affect the quality of the product shall be allowed to handle. Okay, and starting material, packaging material, in process material, and the direct contact shall be avoided between the unprotected hands of personnel and raw material, okay, intermediate or finished or unpacked products. All the persons shall wear a clean body covering appropriate to their duties before entry into the manufacturing area. Okay, and there shall be a change room separate for each male female, and adequate facilities for personal cleanliness such as wash basin, running water, clean towels, hand towels, dryer, soap, disinfectant, etc. Okay, smoking, eating and drinking, chewing and keeping plants, foods, drinks and personal medicine shall not be permitted in the production laboratory, storage and in other areas. Okay, so these are also and comes under the general guidelines for the persons. Next is manufacturing operations and control. All manufacturing operations shall be carried out under the supervision of a technical staff approved by the licensing authority. Okay, this is, and the contents of all vessels and container used in the manufacturing and storage during the various manufacturing storage stages shall be conspicuously labeled with the name of the product, batch size and stage of manufacturing. Okay, so all this information which will help the other staffs also to deal with the current procedure which is going on. The licensee shall prevent mix-up and cross-contamination of the drug material and drug product, okay, from the environment and from the environmental dust by proper air handling system, pressure differential, segregation, status label, of labeling and cleaning, proper records and standard operating procedures thereof shall be maintained. Okay, now the licensing shall ensure the processing of sensitive drug, okay, like beta lactam antibiotics, other antibiotics, sex hormones, psychotoxic substances in segregated areas or isolated products within the building or independent air handling units and proper pressure differentials. Okay, so as per the requirement of the product, proper facility should be provided as per the recommendation. So this is the overall conclusion. Okay, and this is also inspected. Okay, so it's not like a licensee can if licensee is not following any of the recommendations as per the GMP, or his license shall be cancelled at any time. So that is why these provisions and these recommendations are there, and these are the minimum requirements to be assured by a manufacturer. Okay, so now next is to prevent the mix-up during production stages, material and under processes, the continuous labeling should be there, and it should be maintained. All equipment used for the production shall be labeled with their current status. Okay, whatever the procedure is going on for them, and packaging line shall be independent and adequately uh, segregated from manufacturing. That means the manufacturing area, the quality control area, and the packaging area, this all should be segregated completely. Okay, they should not use the facilities of one another in any case. Okay, it shall be ensured that all leftovers of the previous packaging operations, including labels, cartoons, and caps, are cleared before the closing hour. Next is the manufacturing environment shall be maintained at the required level of temperature, humidity, and cleanliness. Yes, of course, है ना? And authorized person shall ensure the changeover into the their specific uniform only. Before undertaking any manufacturing operation, there shall be a segregated, secured area for recall or for the rejected material, and for such material which are to be reprocessed or recovered. That means there should not be any kind of confusion. Okay, proper labeling of cartoons and proper labeling in manufacturing area, in the quality control testing, and in storage warehousing, so that the whoever person is dealing with the any stage of manufacturing should not get confused at any stage. Okay. Next is sanitization and hygiene. Sanitization, the manufacturing premises shall be clean and maintained in an orderly manner so that it is free from any accumulated waste, dust, debris, and other similar material. The manufacturing area shall not be used for the storage material except for the material which is being processed. The adequacy of working and in-process storage space shall permit the orderly and logical positioning of equipment and material, so as to minimize the risk of any mix-up between the pharmaceutical product or their component, to avoid the cross-contamination. Okay, so production area shall be well lit, and particularly where visual online controls are carried out. So dear students, these are the references, and that's all for this module. That's what all we have discussed. Let's summarize it. So dear students, this is general guidelines which I discussed regarding good manufacturing practices for the manufacturing cell of the medical devices, pharmaceutical products. Okay, so and here we are talking about pharmaceutical products only. Okay, so what all we discussed today: good manufacturing practices for premises and material. Okay, general requirements, of the location, of the uh, area, warehousing area, their production area, what all facilities are required in the production area. Okay, with reference to manufacturing, with reference to quality control, and with reference to storage. Okay. Now, health, clothing, and sanitization of worker also we discuss. The persons who are supervising any manufacturing operations, their qualifications, and their subordinate staff. Okay, so all these things we have discussed, as well as we also discussed the manufacturing operations and control. Okay, so this is GMP part 1. So in this we discuss till manufacturing operations and control. Okay, guidelines as per good manufacturing practices, general guidelines. All right, so that's all for this module, and I will be coming with part 2, GMP part 2 in the next module. So we will discuss the remaining guidelines, remaining general guidelines in our next module, GMP practices general guidelines part 2. So dear students, I hope you enjoyed this module. So stay tuned for more videos, and thank you so much for watching this video.